Hi everybody, it's Dr. Rose Kumar from the Omani Center in Pewaukee, Wisconsin. I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about what a lot of us are facing right now, which is the fear of the unknown. This pandemic has brought up seemingly the deepest fears that we've had, that we've actually staved off in the past through our busyness and through our routines. But all of those ended suddenly several weeks ago when we were asked to be at home to reduce community transmission. And so what we have had to face is who we are and what we value. So a mixed blessing in this very difficult time is that we get an opportunity to do this. And most of us really have this fight or flight response going on. We're very stressed, very anxious, because we don't know what's going to happen next or how long this is going to last. Fear of the unknown is a very familiar feeling for me. When I was in my mid-40s, I went through a really difficult midlife crisis, which involved a lot of suffering and a lot of aloneness. And I remember having to go back to the ground of my being to access some very basic tips and tools that I had learned over the years to get me through the day. So I want to share those with you, and I hope that they can help. One of the very most basic tools when you're in a situation like this, when you wake up with anxiety or wake up with oh my God, what's going to happen, is to really take a deep breath and to really focus on today. So taking things one day at a time is extremely helpful, because what you can do is really focus on what you can do in this day. So today is all you have, and this moment is all you have. And so you take it moment by moment, hour by hour, and at the end of the day, you will be able to look back and see that you actually got something done or not done, but at least you got through the day. Sometimes when we think about the future, it floods us, and then we can't really focus on what we're doing in this moment. So try to focus on one day at a time. You're going to take this one day at a time. The second tool or tip that I'd like you to consider is to learn how to connect with yourself. One of the things that we have the hardest time doing is exercising self-compassion. And we're not taught this, and it's not in the water in our society. We're way more compassionate with others than we are with self. But when we're confronted or isolated, as we are right now with self, a lot of these dialogues surface inside of us that aren't very kind. We really have to work on transforming these dialogues and to actually align them with how we truly feel, with our feeling function, because it's hard to fool ourselves. One of the things that I would suggest is to keep a journal. And keeping a journal really means, taking a few minutes a day and just jotting down how you feel. Am I scared? Am I anxious? Why am I anxious? Do I feel flooded? Do I feel isolated? Do I feel exiled? Do I feel alone? Do I feel stressed? Do I feel trapped? And really put self-honesty on paper so that you can read it to yourself in black and white. There's something powerful about doing this that actually elicits self-compassion. It's not something that we're looking for, but it's something that is a very beneficial byproduct of being honest about your feelings with yourself. And I think that the reward of learning that self-compassion is accessible, that it's possible for us to have it, and that we can cultivate this, can be really helpful to us, especially as the days pass and as this pandemic ends. That would be one of the gifts of being alone during this time. The third tool or tip that I'd like to offer is sorting. I mean, we have this time right now where one day blends into the other, and it's really hard to keep track of what day it is or what date it is because our routines are gone. Is go through every room in your apartment or your house and clean it out. Sort through, what do I need, what do I not need. There's a really powerful process that happens internally when we do this. It's like we're clearing out our psyche, or we're clearing out the junk in our mind that seems to clutter us. And I certainly get a lot out of sorting and clearing out. So you may want to consider that if that's your forte. The fourth tip or tool that you may want to consider is to get a pot and some dirt and plant seeds. And this is a symbolic process also, because planting seeds to watch something grow is really that motif of death and rebirth, and really cultivating new life. Because in this time period, which interestingly is Lent, we are going through the death of the reality we knew. So I don't think there's any accident in the timing of this. And I think that it would be really helpful for us to really create some ritual symbolism where we can watch new life grow and a rebirth occur, because somewhere in us that is also calling to be cultivated or activated. So I feel that if we can at least take some steps that are very basic and very easy to do during the day and remember to do them, it would be really beneficial for us, and we will have cultivated something powerful by the time this pandemic is done. A couple of others that might be helpful is sort through your kitchen and look through your pantry or your cabinets to see what food is healthy and what isn't healthy, and replace the unhealthy food with healthy food as a gesture of self-compassion, as a gesture of self-nourishment, because your body needs you. Your body needs you to be kind to it and to feed it healthy food. Now more than ever, we're finding how important it is for our bodies to be healthy. The people that have diseases or comorbidities are the ones at greatest risk for death and morbidity from COVID-19. And why not now that we begin to learn how to self-nourish ourselves? And then the last but not least tip that I would like to leave you with is to really attend to your breath. When we breathe, typically during a day, we're unaware that we're breathing, and we breathe 22,000 times or more during a day. So if we can even do 10 breaths or take 10 breaths that are conscious, that are cleansing breaths, or that are breaths that we can breathe into our belly with, that can really offset or short circuit the stress response and bring us back into the ground of our being. So these are not very difficult things to do. Maybe you can pick 2 or 3 or 1 and start there. But I think that this time that we have been given, and the time that's been forced upon us, needs to be used with as much consciousness and perspective as possible, so that by the time this pandemic is over, we can have a sense of what we truly value. And we start with simple pointers and tips, and we do what we can. Be well and take good care of your health in this time. And I'm thinking of all of you.